Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk to you today about something simple, something powerful: quitting. Now, I know that word gets a bad reputation. We're taught never to quit, never to give up. But the truth is, some things in life are meant to be left behind. Some habits, some mindsets, some fears need to go. So today I want to share with you 8 things to quit. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Because if you want to move forward, if you want to elevate, you've got to learn when to let go. Seeking approval is one of the biggest obstacles to personal freedom and fulfillment. From a young age, many of us are conditioned to believe that validation from others is essential for success and happiness. We are taught to be agreeable, to conform, and to avoid disappointing others. While there is nothing wrong with being considerate of people's feelings, the problem arises when we prioritize their approval over our own self-worth, ambitions, and personal values. The truth is, no matter how hard we try, we will never be able to please everyone. Someone will always have an opinion about what we should or shouldn't do, how we should behave, and the choices we make. Living life in constant pursuit of external validation leads to frustration, disappointment, and a lack of personal identity. One of the biggest dangers of approval seeking is that it can cause people to compromise their own beliefs and values. When someone is too focused on gaining acceptance, they may suppress their true thoughts, feelings, and desires just to fit in. They might choose a career path they don't love because it pleases their family. They might engage in activities they don't enjoy just to maintain friendships. Over time, this self-denial erodes confidence and creates an internal struggle. The more a person seeks validation, the less they understand themselves, and they begin to lose sight of what truly makes them happy. The fear of judgment keeps them from expressing their authentic selves, and they end up living a life dictated by the expectations of others rather than their own aspirations. Social media has amplified this problem significantly. The digital world thrives on approval, likes, shares, comments, and followers. Many people feel pressured to present a curated version of their lives, one that aligns with what is socially accepted and admired. The need for validation becomes an addiction, and when approval doesn't come in the form of engagement, people begin to doubt their worth. They compare their lives to highlight reels of others, feeling inadequate if they don't receive the same level of recognition. This creates an unhealthy cycle where self-esteem is tied to external validation rather than internal fulfillment. The reality is that true confidence and self-worth cannot be measured by social media metrics. Real fulfillment comes from living a life that aligns with one's true self, not from seeking approval from strangers on the internet. Fear of rejection is another reason why people seek approval. Many people avoid pursuing their dreams, voicing their opinions, or making bold decisions because they fear what others will think. They worry about criticism, rejection, or disappointing those around them. This fear can be paralyzing, keeping people trapped in situations that make them unhappy. Someone might stay in a toxic relationship because they don't want others to judge them for walking away. Another might stay in a job they hate because they fear what their peers will say if they take a different path. But the hard truth is, no matter what decision is made, someone will always have an opinion. Trying to satisfy everyone is an impossible task, and in the end, the only person who suffers is the one who prioritizes others' approval over their own happiness. Breaking free from approval seeking requires a shift in mindset. It begins with self-awareness, recognizing when and why approval is being sought. If someone notices they are constantly modifying their behavior to be more likable, they should ask themselves why they feel the need to do so. Is it fear of rejection? Is it a lack of self-confidence? Understanding the root cause of approval-seeking behaviors is the first step to overcoming them. Once that awareness is gained, the next step is to start making decisions based on personal values rather than external expectations. This means learning to say no when something doesn't align with one's true desires. It means standing by one's beliefs, even if others disagree. It means making choices that bring personal fulfillment rather than ones designed to impress others. Developing self-confidence is another key factor in breaking free from the need for validation. Confidence comes from self-acceptance, embracing one's strengths and weaknesses without seeking permission from others to do so. People who are confident in themselves don't need constant reassurance because they trust their own judgment. They know they are enough, regardless of whether or not others approve of them. One way to build confidence is through self-affirmation, regularly reminding oneself of personal strengths, accomplishments, and values helps reinforce self-worth. Another powerful strategy is taking action despite fear. The more a person steps outside their comfort zone, the more they realize they are capable of handling whatever comes their way. With each small step toward independence, their need for approval decreases, and they begin to feel more empowered in their own decisions. Letting go of the need for approval also means accepting that not everyone will like or understand you, and that's okay. The most successful, influential people in history were not the ones who conformed to popular opinions. They were the ones who stood firm in their beliefs and pursued their goals without worrying about what others thought. People like Martin Luther King Jr., Steve Jobs, and Oprah Winfrey didn't let criticism stop them. They focused on their purpose and stayed true to their visions. They understood that pleasing everyone was not only impossible, but also unnecessary. Those who genuinely support and appreciate you will remain in your life, regardless of whether or not they agree with every decision you make, and those who leave were never truly meant to stay. Change is one of the most challenging yet necessary aspects of life. People are naturally inclined to seek comfort and stability because familiarity provides a sense of security. When life follows a predictable pattern, there is little uncertainty, and with that comes a feeling of control. However, life is constantly evolving, and resisting change only leads to stagnation. The fear of change is deeply rooted in the human mind because it often brings uncertainty, and uncertainty can be uncomfortable. People worry about what might go wrong, about whether they will succeed, and about how others will perceive them if they take risks. But growth is impossible without change, and those who refuse to embrace it often find themselves stuck in the same situations, wondering why their lives never improve. The truth is, refusing to change is more dangerous than the change itself. While change may be uncomfortable in the short term, it is the only path to long-term progress, success, and fulfillment. One of the biggest reasons people fear change is the possibility of failure. They hesitate to take risks because they are afraid of making mistakes or facing setbacks. This fear keeps them in jobs they dislike, relationships that no longer serve them, and routines that limit their potential. They tell themselves that it is safer to stay where they are rather than risk losing what they have. However, what they fail to realize is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. Every successful person has encountered failure at some point. The difference is that instead of letting failure discourage them, they used it as a learning experience. Growth does not come from staying within comfort zones. It comes from pushing beyond them. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who take risks, embrace uncertainty, and learn from every challenge they face. They understand that every setback is a setup for a comeback, and every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger. Another reason people resist change is the fear of the unknown. When faced with an unfamiliar situation, the mind tends to imagine the worst-case scenario. It focuses on all the things that could go wrong instead of considering what could go right. This negative thinking creates anxiety and doubt, making it even harder to take the leap into something new. However, the unknown is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced. Every great opportunity in life comes with a degree of uncertainty. The greatest achievements, the biggest breakthroughs, and the most fulfilling experiences all come from stepping into the unknown. The people who succeed are the ones who trust themselves enough to take the first step, even when they don't have all the answers. They understand that clarity comes with action, and that waiting for the perfect moment only leads to missed opportunities. The right time will never come, And the best way to prepare for the future is to start moving forward today. Change also requires people to let go of old habits and mindsets that no longer serve them. Many people cling to their past because it is familiar, even when it is no longer beneficial. They hold on to outdated beliefs, unhealthy relationships, and unproductive routines because letting go feels difficult. However, personal growth requires letting go of the things that prevent progress. Holding on to the past only creates limitations, making it impossible to embrace new possibilities. Those who are willing to release what no longer serves them create space for new opportunities, new experiences, and new perspectives. They understand that growth requires shedding the old to make room for the new. It is not easy to change long-held habits, but it is necessary for personal evolution. A person who refuses to adapt will eventually find themselves left behind, while those who embrace change will continue to move forward and discover new opportunities. Another reason people struggle with change is the desire for control. Many people like to plan their lives in a way that feels predictable and manageable. They set expectations for how things should be and become frustrated when things do not go as planned. However, life is unpredictable, and no matter how much planning is done, there will always be circumstances beyond personal control. The key to thriving in an ever-changing world is learning to be adaptable. Instead of resisting unexpected changes, it is important to adjust and find ways to make the most of new circumstances. Adaptability is one of the greatest strengths a person can have because it allows them to navigate challenges with resilience. The people who succeed are not the ones who try to control every aspect of their lives, but the ones who learn to flow with the changes and make the best of any situation. Fear of judgment is another factor that holds people back from embracing change. Many people hesitate to make changes in their lives because they worry about what others will think. They are afraid of being criticized, misunderstood, or rejected for making unconventional choices. As a result, they stay in situations that make them unhappy simply to avoid judgment. However, the reality is that people will always have opinions, regardless of the choices that are made. Trying to live according to the expectations of others is a guaranteed way to remain unfulfilled. The only way to achieve true happiness is to make decisions based on personal goals and values rather than external opinions. The people who make the biggest impact in the world are the ones who are unafraid to stand out, take risks, and follow their own path. They do not let the fear of judgment stop them from pursuing their dreams. One of the most important aspects of embracing change is shifting the mindset from seeing change as a threat to seeing it as an opportunity. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, it is important to focus on what could go right. Change brings new possibilities, new lessons, and new experiences that would not have been possible otherwise. Every great success story is built on moments of transformation. Those who achieve their goals are the ones who recognize that change is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. They understand that the path to success is not always a straight line. It is filled with twists, turns, and unexpected detours. However, each challenge along the way is an opportunity to grow, learn, and become stronger. People who refuse to change often find themselves feeling stuck and frustrated. They wonder why their lives never improve, why they never reach their full potential, and why they feel unfulfilled. The answer is simple: nothing changes if nothing changes. Success, happiness, and personal growth do not come from staying in the same place. They come from being willing to step into the unknown, take risks, and embrace new opportunities. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who avoided change, but the ones who welcomed it with open arms. They knew that growth required discomfort and that progress required taking action even when the future was uncertain. At the core of every great achievement is a moment of change. The decision to leave a job that no longer brings joy, the courage to walk away from a toxic relationship, the willingness to step outside of a comfort zone. These are the moments that shape a person's life. Those who refuse to change remain trapped in the same cycles, while those who embrace change open the door to endless possibilities. Every person has a choice to stay the same or to grow. And in that choice lies the difference between a life of regret and a life of fulfillment. Overthinking is one of the biggest barriers to progress, happiness, and success. It is the habit of analyzing, questioning, and second-guessing every decision to the point where no action is taken. Instead of making a choice and moving forward, people who overthink get stuck in an endless cycle of doubt, fear, and hesitation. This mental trap drains energy, creates unnecessary stress, and prevents individuals from taking meaningful steps toward their goals. Overthinking often stems from a fear of failure, a need for perfection, or a deep concern about what others might think. The mind creates countless scenarios, most of which never happen, but the mere possibility of them occurring leads to paralysis. When someone spends too much time overanalyzing, they become their own worst enemy, preventing themselves from taking opportunities that could lead to growth and success. One of the biggest causes of overthinking is the fear of making the wrong decision. People want certainty before they take action, believing that if they analyze a situation long enough, they will find the perfect solution. However, the reality is that no decision is ever completely risk-free. Life is unpredictable, and even the best laid plans can take unexpected turns. The obsession with finding the right answer often leads to inaction, which is far worse than making a decision that doesn't work out as planned. The truth is, every decision carries lessons, whether it leads to success or failure. Mistakes are not the end of the road. They are stepping stones to growth. Those who learn to make decisions with confidence, even in uncertainty, move forward in life, while those who overthink stay stuck in the same place. Overthinking is also closely linked to perfectionism. Many people refuse to act because they feel they need to have everything figured out before they begin. They want every detail to be perfect, every possible outcome to be predicted, and every step to be planned. However, perfection is an illusion. There will always be uncertainties, obstacles, and factors that cannot be controlled. Those who wait for the perfect conditions will never take action, because those conditions do not exist. The most successful individuals are not the ones who have all the answers before they start. They are the ones who start anyway and figure things out along the way. They understand that progress is more important than perfection, and that action, no matter how imperfect, is always better than inaction. One of the most damaging effects of overthinking is that it destroys self-confidence. When someone constantly questions their decisions and abilities, they begin to doubt themselves more and more. This doubt turns into hesitation, and hesitation leads to missed opportunities. Every time a person talks themselves out of taking action, they reinforce the belief that they are not capable. Over time, this erodes self-trust and makes it even harder to make decisions in the future. The cycle continues, creating a mindset where fear and doubt control every aspect of life. Breaking free from this requires a shift in thinking. Instead of questioning every decision, individuals must learn to trust themselves, take action, and adjust as needed. Confidence is built through action, not endless thinking. Overthinking also wastes valuable time. Time spent analyzing and second-guessing could be used to take action, learn, and improve. Many people look back on their lives and regret the time they spent worrying instead of doing. The fear of making a mistake keeps them stuck, and before they realize it, years have passed without any significant progress. Life moves forward whether or not a person is ready, and those who spend too much time overthinking often find themselves left behind. The most successful and fulfilled individuals are those who take calculated risks, make quick decisions, and learn from their experiences. They do not let fear of the unknown keep them from moving forward. One of the most effective ways to overcome overthinking is to shift the focus from what if something goes wrong to what if something goes right. Instead of imagining the worst case scenario, people should train their minds to consider the best case scenario. By focusing on potential success rather than failure, individuals can build confidence and take action more easily. Another useful strategy is setting time limits on decisions. Instead of endlessly analyzing a choice, giving oneself a deadline forces action. Whether it is 5 minutes or 5 days, having a set time frame prevents the habit of overthinking from taking over. Additionally, breaking down big decisions into smaller steps makes them feel more manageable. Instead of trying to solve everything at once, focusing on one step at a time helps create momentum and reduces the feeling of being overwhelmed. Overthinking is a habit that can be unlearned. It requires conscious effort to break the cycle, but it is possible. By focusing on action rather than analysis, trusting one's abilities, and shifting the mindset from fear to possibility, individuals can free themselves from the mental prison of overthinking. The key to success, happiness, and growth is not found in endless analysis. It is found in action. Those who learn to quiet their doubts and take steps forward, even when they are uncertain, are the ones who truly succeed in life. Doubting oneself is one of the biggest obstacles to success and personal fulfillment. It is a silent enemy that creeps into the mind, making people question their abilities, decisions, and worth. Self-doubt creates hesitation, fear, and insecurity, leading to missed opportunities and a constant feeling of inadequacy. People who doubt themselves often struggle with taking risks, making decisions, and stepping outside of their comfort zones. They may have dreams, goals, and ambitions, but their internal voice tells them they are not good enough, not smart enough, or not talented enough to achieve them. This negative thinking becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when people believe they are incapable, they act in ways that reinforce that belief. They hesitate, they procrastinate, and they avoid challenges, ultimately proving themselves right. Not because they truly lack ability, but because they never gave themselves a fair chance. Self-doubt often begins early in life. It can be shaped by childhood experiences, negative feedback, and comparisons with others. People are constantly exposed to criticism, whether from parents, teachers, peers, or society. A single negative comment, even if unintentional, can plant a seed of doubt that grows over time. When people are told that they are not good enough or that they are unlikely to succeed, they start believing it. This belief system becomes deeply ingrained and influences the way they see themselves. Instead of focusing on their strengths, they fixate on their weaknesses. Instead of embracing challenges as opportunities to grow, they see them as proof that they are not capable. Over time, self-doubt turns into a habit, a default way of thinking that holds them back in every area of life. One of the biggest dangers of self-doubt is that it leads to inaction. When people question their abilities, they hesitate to take action because they fear failure. They tell themselves that they are not ready, that they need more preparation, that the timing isn't right, or that someone else is more qualified. As a result, they miss opportunities that could have led to growth and success. The irony is that the only way to build confidence and overcome self-doubt is through action. Confidence does not come from waiting until everything is perfect. It comes from proving to oneself that they are capable. Every time a person takes a step forward despite their doubts, they build self-trust. They realize that they can handle challenges, adapt to setbacks, and learn from their mistakes. But when self-doubt prevents action, people remain stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing in their life changes. Perfectionism is another common cause of self-doubt. Many people set impossibly high standards for themselves and believe that if they do not meet them, they are not good enough. They expect perfection in their work, relationships, and personal achievements, and when they fall short, they see it as proof of their inadequacy. The problem with perfectionism is that it creates unrealistic expectations. No one is perfect, and no one gets everything right on the first try. Those who succeed are not the ones who never make mistakes, but the ones who learn from their mistakes and keep going. Self-doubt often makes people believe that they need to be flawless to be worthy of success. But the truth is that success is built on resilience, persistence, and the willingness to learn. The key is to embrace imperfection, accept failure as a part of growth, and keep moving forward. One of the most effective ways to overcome self-doubt is to change the internal dialogue. The mind believes what it is repeatedly told, so if someone constantly tells themselves that they are not good enough, they will start to believe it. The key is to replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I am capable and I am willing to learn." Instead of saying, "I am not good enough," say, "I am growing and I am improving every day." Words have power, and the way people speak to themselves shapes their beliefs and actions. By practicing self-affirmation and focusing on strengths rather than weaknesses, individuals can rewire their minds to be more confident and self-assured. Surrounding oneself with supportive and positive people is also crucial in overcoming self-doubt. The people individuals spend time with influence their thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. If they are constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, or people who doubt them, it will be harder to believe in themselves. On the other hand, being around encouraging, ambitious, and supportive individuals helps boost confidence and motivation. Positive influences remind people of their strengths and potential, making it easier to push through self-doubt and keep moving forward. Self-doubt is a battle that everyone faces at some point, but it does not have to control one's life. It is possible to break free from the cycle of negative thinking and step into confidence, growth, and success. By shifting mindset, taking action despite fear, and focusing on progress rather than perfection, people can silence their doubts and unlock their true potential. The only way to truly fail is to let self-doubt win. The strongest, most successful individuals are not the ones who never experience doubt, but the ones who refuse to let it stop them.